is this? So good morning, yo. Welcome to Simply Live with Simply Lesa. Um, I have my back window open this morning. Good morning. Hi, Iris. I'm so glad to see you here. Oh, I probably don't need to yell at you because I'm actually using my I love this thing. It's a one, it's called Sound Mates. I got it at Walmart for right around $10, somewhere around nine something, $10. It's a one earbud Bluetooth thing. Hi, Betty Joe. I see Bonnie and I mean Brooke, and it always makes me go, wait. What's her name? Good morning, Betty Joe. I'm so glad you're here. Hi, all you new people. Hi, Kenneth. Hey, if Joseph comes in, Iris, would you help me? Whoops, I probably don't need to yell because I keep forgetting I have this. I started to show this when I first came on. Love. Oh, hi, Beth. Love this little. It's a one earbud, Bluetooth speaker and like microphone speaker for driving. And so I found it in the automotive department at a Walmart, and like I said, it was right around $10. I've had this a couple of years. I love this. I broke the little hinged back thing on it. This case is what recharges it. Love this. This is another piece of goodness that it leaves one ear open so you can hear traffic, and you wear it in the other ear, and there is a button on it you can press to like end a call and do things. But I use this quite often. It allows me to hear podcasts when I'm driving and still hear traffic. And for this, I can stop yelling when I use it. I kind of yell at my phone a lot. Probably not getting hard of hearing, but whatever. Putting it on my little table. So in the manner of good morning, Iris, would you or Betty Joe, would you help me remember if Joseph comes in? I need to find out about the package that he said he was sending me a gift from my Amazon wish list. I contacted my UPS driver and he doesn't know anything about it, hasn't had any deliveries for me. So we need to, I don't have Joseph's email address. So I need to somehow like connect with him better. So thanks for helping me with that. And so I will pan the phone's camera around a little bit and show you inside the car. I opened this back window glass, so my hands on the tire right now. Well, it's hard to see because of the seat. So I'm gonna pick you up a little bit. See that I can put my hand on the spare tire on the back because the glass is open, and I have my tarp. That's those uh, dark spots out there are the tie down points that are on this particular tarp. Love this tarp. So I have my tarp like living room space open on the back, and my Kelly kettle's out there in my chair. If I disconnect from the, let me do that and show you guys around a little bit this morning. Please remember, I would love to answer questions for people this morning. And I would love it if you would put like 3 uppercase Q's before your question so I notice it when it pops up. I do have my reader glasses in the car with me because I'm inside. If the wind gets a little too flappy, I might have to go outside and lower the tarp so that it won't make too much sound, or just close that back window so that it's not bothering us. So I'm sorry if my face isn't all the way in for some of you who came in to see my beautiful face this morning. Okay, so let's do a little pan around. I did start making curtains and they're just Velcro You know, these little Velcro strip things that, okay, wait a minute. So Velcro's now selling Velcro for fabrics, which the glue on them is great. That's what's on that part. But these little tie things for cords, and they have that open part on the end. You've probably seen these before. These are, when I take the curtain down and I want to just stick it up over the window for traveling, that's what I'm using right now to, we're talking budget friendly, right? But to wrap the curtain up and then attach it to my carpeted headliner. My headliner is carpet style, not plastic. So the sharp part of the Velcro will actually stick to this without any help or without much help, which is how I have these patches up on the ceiling. Okay. Now I hope I'm not making y'all sick. So you probably remember from seeing pictures of the outside of my rig that this bump on the spare tire right now is my Insta-Privy bathroom kit. It's been really nice to have that outside on the back of the car because I do have to get out to go to the bathroom. This car's so small, it's not a bathroom in the car deal. Inside the hole of the spare tire, not sure if you can really see that, but like that red spray bottle is wax, but I don't even know why I have wax because my car is scratched up and the paint's peeling right now. But inside the hole back here, I, for a little while, was carrying water bottles like these 1.5 liter water bottles. And then I switched. So now that's where my oil, a quart of oil, laundry soap, stuff like that is all down in there, which is really convenient. So it's like my garage on the outside. The package that I'm still negotiating with Amazon and the police department, sheriff's department here, the package was that I spent over $100 on a very cool organizer for my spare tire on the back of the car. And I did a lot of work finding one that fit my tire, not a huge oversized Jeep tire, but my 30-inch tire. And I still don't have an answer, and I still don't have my money back. And I haven't left this area because I'm waiting for that little thing that tells me it's time to go. But I'm also still periodically every few days calling the local sheriff's department, and I don't want to be too far away in case I have to like go physically be in front of somebody and say, look, I can't get my money back. I can't get my item. This is a new policy from Amazon in this area, at least, and this hurts, and I can't do this. And guys, please, would you close the sheriff's report so I can have my items? Anyways, they've told me that it's possible that by Wednesday they might figure something out. I've asked them to separate my report from Candy and Rick's report about their generators. We don't know what's going to happen. All right. I know I just put my hand over the camera, sorry, but I have to adjust my hand because of what I'm doing. I'm going to put you back down in a minute. Outside there, you could probably see that red chair out by my tent pole. The wind's blowing a little bit, so I don't want to be outside and it would make the sound worse. So that is a chair that's available on Walmart.com for right around $20 to $22. Love it. Strong chair. The only issue you could possibly have is that this is one of those chairs that lays you back as if you're in a recliner. I like a straighter chair. It's comfortable. As a sometimes chair, it's good, and it folds up really into a small package, which is doable with this car. I mean, seriously doable with this car. I don't like the Helinox click chair things. I've researched them, I've had them, I've sat in them. Just they are no more comfortable for me. So my favorite of lawn chairs is the GCI GCI Fire Pit Rocker. It, I believe, only comes in gray. It's a little low to the ground, but it's very straight back, and it has the shocks that make it rock. So the ground just, the bottom part of the chair is sits on the ground in a stationary place, and then the chair rocks on that stationary like leg thing. Love that chair. Would like another one, but I don't have a place to carry it in this car, because when you fold it, it doesn't fold into a bag. It folds kind of into a rectangular shape. If I will talk about that, Iris. If as I'm doing research about this removable rooftop, if I'm able to get the roof rack for this and the chair would fit, I would carry that other rocking chair for absolute certain, along with this little red chair. It's good. Over on this side, I'm fairly certain you can see that. I can't see what you're seeing. I have a little blue stool, which I put over the tent peg so I wouldn't trip. And there's a bucket. Right in front of the bucket is my Kelly kettle. I would suggest, if you're going to get a Kelly kettle, that perhaps you consider getting a smaller one than I have. I've been really considering that. Sorry, I'm wiggling around a lot. I've been really considering a smaller size Kelly kettle for travel. That size is called the Base Camp. It's wonderful at the cabin. But I realized taking my shower yesterday, well, bath, yes. No, let me rephrase that. While I was bathing yesterday, I'm going to set you guys back down because I'm talking more. While I was bathing yesterday, I realized that I'm only using about half the water that I boil in that. And so only using about half that water, I could have a smaller package to travel with. So I've researched it. I've been considering it. But again, it's another $100 purchase. I guess I'm just not quite ready. You're going to see me. I'm unhooking my, you probably won't see all of this, but until I move the thing. The sun was in my eyes, and I'm able to move my visor. So I pulled the visor away from the hinge thing and turned it to the side window, so it's not in my eyes as much. I think the light's pretty good for you guys to see. Yes, I'm adjusting myself. My left leg, with my MS diagnosis, I suspect that the weakness in my left side of my body, most of my, my whole life, I suspect that that's all MS related. I can't sit cross-legged. Like we used to when I was young. Pardon the expression. This is no, I'm not trying to be incorrect in a political sense or whatever. But when I was young, we used to call this position Indian position, or like a yoga position. I've never been able to really do that well because my left side, especially near my knee, it hurts so bad that I get a pain. It feels like a pain in the bone. Well, anyways, so I shift around. This is my driver's seat. This is the edge of my driver's seat. I'm sitting on top of my passenger seat, which is laid down, and then my bed is made on top of that. So I'm sitting like I often do when I'm inside. This is going to lead us into how do I stay warm? Okay, Iris, how do I keep myself warm when it's cold? So my toes right now are still inside my sleeping bags. And don't look at my feet. I can I can shift, but I have to watch my left knee just does not bend in a tight way. So I've just always had that trouble. Like this is an awkward position. If I could make my leg just be a little more at that kind of an angle as my hand is, it would be just a little more comfortable. But I don't quite have enough room with the stuff that's at the back of the driver's seat right now. Okay, that being said, how do I keep myself warm when it's cold? Now I gotta shift my butt a little this way because for you guys, I think you're getting too much sun on my face. There we go. So some of you know that I chose to hike on the Appalachian Trail a few years ago. And part of that choice was because I knew coming back to the United States from Costa Rica without any contact from family and friends, because basically my family disowned me 3 or 4 times. Like that's not even a thing anymore. But I wish I had paid attention the first time and just let it go. But I wanted a family so bad that I thought that was the thing to do. And it never worked for me. I kept pushing, trying to make my family want me, and it never worked. So when I finally let it go, and I was ready to return from Costa Rica, I wanted to go home. That's an idea that you need to define for yourself. What does home mean? Because there was no physical place that meant home. There was no house. There was no specific town. I had no connections. The church that I was raised in, the Worldwide Church of God, no longer exists. And so all those people I knew when I was young, all the family members, they were just gone from my life. So I do have 2 adult children. We were separated when they were early teens, preteens. And for a number of years, they heard some pretty horrible things about me, pretty typical in divorce situations. And so there are times when we're not very close, and then there's times when they want to talk to me more and I hear from them. So it's just kind of a thing that happens. Okay. So I want you to know that. Betty Joe, your name is so pretty up there. Thank you for whatever you've done that gives you a star and special status. And that's very pretty. I do not love the Powerade, Gatorade things. Good morning, Liz. But I am occasionally having a Powerade Zero. I think that at times they taste very chemically, and that's a taste. So it is not always my choice. But in the world of this is way better than having a soda, I don't feel good. COVID has done a number on my taste buds. So off and on, when I'm not feeling well, I just, as an old habit, I grab one of these. I know I'm not going to get fat. I know I'm, whatever, but I just do this. Okay. So you're seeing me do it. Let me turn it around so you see what it is. I do not, they are not affiliated with me. You guys kind of know I'm not affiliated with anybody. Somebody that I don't know got a hold of me on Facebook the other day. I'm on Facebook under my name, not my public persona. Somebody got a hold of me on Facebook and asked me, "Are you affiliated with Hawa anymore?" And I was like, not really, but why? And never heard from them again. Now, I do not understand that, okay? I'll understand why they're doing that or asking me that question, but people keep asking me. Hawa Homes on Wheels Alliance as an agency it has bylaws and a direction that is different from my standards. I love the people. I love them. I think their work is important. I think what they're doing is great. I would not do the same thing if I was doing a 501c. I'm not doing a 501c because I did the research and I didn't want the government to get all the money. And I didn't want to become one of those organizations that when I want to help somebody and I want to spend 90% of the money somebody has donated for me to help somebody, and me only, my goal would be for me to only use like about 10% of what I've been given in order to help, in order for me to be able to do the thing to help them. I'm like, a 501c would not allow me to do that. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to do a 501c. I looked into it, had a name all picked out, did some projects, and then went, I'm just going to carry this on as the person that I am, doing the best that I can. So, all right. How do I keep warm? Y'all know I'm allergic to propane, and this car's tiny. I know there are propane options for people. I'm kind of just going to make a bullet list, right? There are propane options. We could talk about them, but let me go through. There are propane options. There are butane options. For me personally, butane is most often a mix that includes propane. Can't do those. I have an allergy. Solar, so that you could have electric. Well, my budget does not allow me to have a large solar system along with the space inside my car right now. Right now, I'm rocking I could show it. Let me turn this around so I can show you. I'm rocking a Rockpals 300 watt solar battery pack with now below my steering wheel, below the seat. See that black thing right there folded up? That is a 100 watt portable solar panel. So turn this back around for a minute. So from the solar standpoint, they do not make an electric space heater that would run on a 300 watt battery pack. If I, for example, had a 500 watt battery pack, I might be able to get a little bit of time using the solar panels and the portable system. I might be able to get a little bit of time with an electric 110 teeny weeny 200, 300 watt space heater. I used to have one in Vantucket years and years ago that I had bought at a Walmart. I got it at an end of season sale for very inexpensive. I still see them at Walmart. I don't remember their current prices, but they're made for somebody to have in their office, on their desk, or underneath their desk to keep their toes warm in a cold office. And so those can be run on a larger battery pack than I have or choose to carry. I don't have a budget for a larger solar system at this current time. I have something I would like to talk to a company about. There is a company called Cascadia 4x4. I would love to have their solar system on this particular rig. I can't even talk to them right now because I don't have any funds in my budget for that. That being said, so propane, butane, solar, solar for electric. Okay, other options for keeping warm. Then, old school. What's safe? What's safe in a car? Okay, I can reach back here. I should show you reaching. You guys like to see things. If it was me, I would like to see things too. Okay, I'm reaching over here in this back corner. I can't see my hand. I can't tell what I'm showing you. Whoops, wait a minute. Switch the camera that way. Unplug it from the battery pack. Okay, so Here's my steering wheel. This came, this little sticky pad thing, which I happen to love these things, came with this steering wheel table when I picked it up recently. I paid right around $10 for a steering wheel table. I would like a different style one for my particular steering wheel, but for a very lightweight situation, I like having the table. So I've seen some other styles, and there might be a day when I switch for another style because my steering wheel has 3 little hole sections, whatever, but it works. So, okay, let me pan back because I was going somewhere with this. Go back this way. Okay, my bag of electronics and my kitchen, my black hole bag, right? The kitchen drawer, the whatever. It's the bag that has everything, but it's a lot of officey stuff. And then my driver's seat. Yes, that's a little battery operated fan from Walmart. They're cheap, but I got one. I'm saying battery, rechargeable. The orange is my recovery tracks. This is my scarf, hat, gloves for now because I've been using them. Let's see. Yes, paper towels. My outdoor rug for when I'm taking a shower especially, but for when I want it. My new box of stickers and stuff. Okay, come back around here. Yes, there's the Powerade I was just drinking off of. I have a little spot where I can make coffee in the morning if I want to. Here's another item that could help someone, but you got to know how to run this and run this safely. This is sterno. Okay, it's still fire in your car. It's safe inside, but if you don't know how to run it, don't do it. You could catch something on fire. If you are messy in your vehicle, no offense to anybody, but sometimes people are messy. You know, I mean, my stuff's a little close right here. Okay, I also have underneath that blue cord right there, that gray is a metal splatter guard that can go around this and protect the area. I do not use that for heat. I used that to make a cup of coffee inside this morning very carefully. Let me repeat that very carefully. It's an open flame. And you see how close my blankets are to this? Very close. So I have to pull these way back. I don't want anything catching on fire. And then I use that little splatter screen to protect all the way around it. It puts water in the air when you use something like that because of the steam it creates. So that's a very, if you needed to do it and you had more space than I have in this car, you could do it if you protect yourself really super well in the way you use it. There are these little things on Amazon, little heat things on Amazon that are meant to be put on top of, they're a heat diffuser that you put on top of some kind of a portable stove in either in a tent situation to create some heat out of one of your little stoves. They work because they have other pieces of metal. Some of them have a little bit of ceramic baffles in them. And they're inexpensive. They have a little handle or a clippy handle. But anyways, they work, and you could use that on a sterno thing. If you are super careful, it's fire in a car. Don't set yourself on fire. So that's just, it is an option. So propane, butane, electric, sterno. Okay. Well, all these other things, they have to do with cooking stoves or Mr. Buddies or whatever. Then there are candles. Again, fire in a car. Careful. Also, I'm going to throw in the candle department, oil lanterns. If you have the space, if you know how to properly use an oil lantern, not a lamp, but an oil lantern, and you can be careful and you can stabilize it. The same thing with the candle. If you can be careful and you can do what I do, can you see that this window is that dark spot? That's open. That window has been open. I close it when I drive because I don't like the sound when I'm driving, okay? But I leave. That's a small space, eighth of an inch, quarter of an inch, something like that. But my window goes forward like that and then slants down. So right where it slants, it's a bigger hole. And I can almost get my pinky finger through the whole the open piece part of my window. I keep a window cracked open all the time when I sleep in my cars. So condensation's an issue, all those things. But I'm going to go back to the candle thing. Now, since I'm out here in New Mexico and I didn't bring my big candle lantern with me, I had wanted, this looks crooked to me, I'm messing with it. I had wanted one of these. Okay. My big Yuko candle lantern with the 3 candles, the candelier. Love that thing. It's up at the cabin. I have decided the change in my plans. I have decided when I leave here, probably this week, I'll leave here. I'm going back to the cabin because I want to bring the big candelier. Okay. This holds tea light candles. They're $15 more or less online. Okay, wait a minute. I'm turning it the wrong way. Darn it. I don't have much grip this morning. That's an MS thing. And it helps when you turn it the right way. Lefty, righty tighty, lefty loosey. Yeah. Lefty loosey, righty tighty, whatever. This one holds tea light candles. Tea light candles only burn so long and then they're dead. They put themselves out. That's a cool thing about a candle lantern, that it'll put itself out. So if you happen to fall asleep and it's in a safe location, it will put itself out and you don't have to really worry about waking up to blow the candle out or whatever. Yuko candeliers, I really do like them. No, I don't have a sponsorship or anything like that, but I really like these because they're well encased. They're really well thought out. The handle is this handle. Well, that's the only handle on it. But this handle is tall enough so that your fingers get warm because heat rises. Okay. There's plenty of air holes for the candle to breathe. So fire needs air in order to get hot enough to burn. Anyway, so it has proper air spaces inside of it. And this, I wouldn't be able to touch this when it's on. It gets very hot, but the handles are far enough away from the heat so you don't burn your fingers and you could hang them. Okay. I don't have appropriate hooks in here to hang one. These and the 1 candle versions of these, many people have used in their tents when they're hiking. I think it's wonderful ambient light. I think that our eyeballs as human beings ought to be visually seeing real fire every once in a while. I like campfires. I like candle light. I I think it's good for us. I think it's healthy for us to have some of these more natural things in our lives, as opposed to these are wonderful. This was a Wagon Tech give a freebie swag for those of us who were teaching at Overland Expo. I don't know where, but they keep giving them away at expos. But they're battery operated and it's LED lights. It's very nice, but it takes batteries. I would love if Wagon would, find a way to make sure I have one that's. I'm begging for that from Wagon, but they have plenty of these. I want a rechargeable one. I don't want to have to do the batteries, but it's magnetic. I'll show you all these gadgets, and then you'll want them, right? And it has, hang hooks on it and all kinds of things. Kind of nice. So I use that, not the car light. Okay, this part of my car, this white part, is steel. This is like a roll bar in a Jeep. Okay, So that's the light I use at night. This does give up, candles give off light. If you can't sleep with lights on, it will annoy you. It doesn't have to annoy you, but it will annoy you. You can make your mind up to not be so annoyed. And it's all, you got to work at it. Because I like a dark room to sleep in. So it's a whole thing. Sometimes I just got to, you know. Or don't forget eye masks. When you travel, eye masks are the lightest weight, best curtain in the whole world because you can't see anything. In a truck stop, when you can't get away from the light, use one of those little silk eye mask things or whatever. Anyway, but a candle burns dry. Things like butane and propane, they put moisture in the air as they burn. So then that leads us to a condensation conversation. But the candles kind of dry up the air. So I was thinking about the fact that I already own the bigger one at home and I didn't want to spend the same amount of money anyways. So I said, you know what? It's not that cold here. It's cold. And we had snow. But it's not so cold that I'm not going to make it with my clothes and my sleeping bags and everything else. But it would be nice to be a little bit more comfortable and to keep the condensation under control inside the tracker while I'm doing this. So I decided, rather than spending the $40 on the big one, to spend the $15, get the tea light candle one. I can light it at night when I'm sitting up watching a movie or whatever I'm doing, right? Or reading a book. And I have the little ambient light and it's drying up the air from my breathing, and it's drying up the air from my body, just gives off moisture. Everybody's does. Whether you're sweating or not, there's moisture going in the air. So it helps to dry that up a little bit. And I thought this would be helpful. And then later I could use it as a candle in camp because they're beautiful, or at the cabin. So I did decide to go ahead and buy this. I love Yuko candles. So this has been a part of how I've kept the condensation a little bit under control in the car. This and always having a window cracked open allows the moisture to go out. Yes, heat rises, so hot air is going out of that too. But I need to keep it as dry in here as I can so I can keep warm. So staying dry helps you stay warm. Having a little bit of flame or dry heat that can help you to control the moisture in the air is useful. This did not make a noticeable dent in the warmth in the car, except for right over it. Okay. And where I've had it sitting on this table, it's been sitting right there on this steering wheel table. Okay, but wait a minute. Sorry, I'm moving you around a little bit. It's been sitting on the steering wheel table right there. That has actually, when that has been burning and it was cold when it was snowing, that window did not ice up. My other windows across the car did ice up. So I had inside ice on the windows. I'm not afraid of that. That means it's cold, but it doesn't mean I'm freezing to death. So, okay, more stuff about how I stay warm. So, I was aware that I had not brought something with me when I came out on the road when Betty Jo and I camped near each other earlier in the year. So when I went back to the cabin one of those trips, I grabbed this little, because I didn't want to buy another one, right? Because I am a minimalist at heart, right? This is a little lap blanket, and I'm noticing I've had it over at campfires a couple of times, and there's little holes starting to be in it because campfires pop sparks. Anyways, it's just a little lap blanket that I probably got, most likely, I think I got this one at Dollar General. I would have waited for it to be on sale, but I thought the color was pretty. Sure, it's white, but if it gets too dirty, you throw it in the washing machine. It'll get holes in it over time. It'll melt being out near the fires. But um, it's I waited for it to be on sale because I thought it was pretty. I don't care about whether it's white or not. I think white's a beautiful color. I love white and gray, actually. I had it in a kind of intuition once that I should wear more white and gray. Anyway, um, uh, so I waited till it was on sale, and if I remember right, I paid like $4. Might have paid $5 for it. Okay, so inexpensive. Of course, I'm very much a budget friendly person, so this is extra. But when I'm watching a movie at night, my back can get cold. You can imagine right now I've got that window open, so I'm feeling the breeze. You might be able to see motion behind me there, but so when I'm sitting up watching a movie at night, now that I just folded it right, I just put this behind my back like this, and I stuff my pillows against the car. So now my back's insulated while I'm watching a movie. And I might have my coat on underneath this, but now I'm comfortable while I'm watching a movie. Okay. And um so what else? So I'm careful of what my bedding is. I'm careful because I really shouldn't have down. I'm kind of allergic. It's hard to keep down feathers inside things. So I try not to have down. But I really love Outdoor Vitals. By the way, you guys, look into that little cottage industry company. They have a membership thing, which I would like to become a member of. I'm not right currently. Um, I had their green 0 degree top quilt that was I forgot what it was called. It's a something. It's a polyester fiber that was created to look as close and act as close to down as possible. So it was super lightweight, and the fibers you had to keep it lofted, which means fluffed up. But it could pack down into like a really small package, and which is good when I'm packing tiny cars. But it's super warm, and it was a quilt, not a sleeping bag. So you're not smashing the bottom section. On a sleeping bag, when you lay down, the part on top of you is all nice and warm. The part under you, you smash the filling, whether it's down or whatever. And it's not as warm because you've smashed the airspace. And the thing that makes even down warm is that the feathers trap air. And so the fibers, if you're trying to do alternative fiber, which I tend to prefer because if it gets wet, it's still warm. Yes, if wool gets wet, it's still warm. But what if I just end up reacting to the wool? I love wool. I love alpaca. Alpaca's less allergic to people with breathing issues and stuff. But it's still something I have to consider along with my budget. And I can't really afford those things as much as I would. I would love to make the jump up to an alpaca blanket or something. I'm not there yet. Okay. I have everyday life, and I'm not debt free anymore. So I'm still paying off some things, some decisions I made that had to do with cars and the cabin. And I really am disappointed that I did that, but it was based on the whole COVID thing, and we all did stuff. I'm disappointed, but I'm not regretting it. But I'm disappointed because I like debt free better. I like debt free so much that when I had the opportunity to buy my dream vehicle before COVID started, like 2 weeks before COVID started, I turned down my dream vehicle because I would have had a little amount of debt on a vehicle. And I said, no, I'd rather be debt free than have my dream vehicle. And now I kick myself because had I done that, I wouldn't have built the cabin. I would be happier with my lifestyle. I would have had a little more space. But I don't regret it. It's a big learning curve. Whatever. Okay. Back to you. How do I keep warm? Okay, so watching a movie at night. Bundle up. Before you go to bed at night, have a nice warm drink. Then go pee. Before, whether you need to or not, go make yourself, if you can, go make yourself kind of go pee. So you don't have to get out of the blankets in the middle of the night very much. Remember that if you're watching a thermometer, you're going to feel colder because there's a mental thing that happens. Seeing numbers that we've been taught. In my lifetime, we've been taught numbers. And if you can, it's just like with people who wear watches or used to wear watches. I haven't worn a watch. Wow. Years. The 80s? I think I stopped wearing watches in the 80s. But anyways, if you're wearing a watch, you pay attention to time. If you're not wearing a watch, time kind of goes away. The more you're in nature, so this is the principle I'm using to get you with the natural temperatures as well. If you're out in nature more, then you start doing everything by the sun. It's like, oh, the sun's up. It's time to wake up. Oh, the sun's going down. Well, it's time to slow down for the night. Time to, you finish eating earlier. You know, all those things because, you don't want to be washing dishes, after dark and having to then hang a bear bag or something and protect your food or whatever it is, right? So it's the same kind of principle with a watch as it is with temperature. If you can't see a number, your mind can't say, it's cold, you're going to freeze to death, it's below blah, 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 right? Whatever temperature you were taught. It's funny. If it's cold out, it could be snowing out, and you get out of your car to go to the bathroom, and you're like, wow, it's not that cold out here. I'm fine. So what? I didn't put my socks on, right? And you can be just fine. I think it's a mental game thing. So, let go of that mental matrix game thing. Just let go of it. It's not as cold as you think it is. You're going to be fine. Frost on the inside of the windows, really not that big a deal. Sure, get some curtains. Part of the thing with the frost is that condensation in your vehicle. And like I said, with that little tiny UCO candle lantern, that's just a tea light. It's only going to burn for what? What is it? 4 hours, 5 hours? You could find tea light candles that'll burn longer hours. But I'm saying that particular cheap candle in there that's only going to burn like 4 hours, I'm going to have it on while I'm sitting watching a movie. It dries the air a little bit. Yeah, it puts a little, I'm going to have to wash. It puts a little candle soot in the air, but not much. It is not even what the dust being in the desert, that layer of dust that's on things. It's not even. But it'll keep that one window from fogging up. That's kind of nice. But don't be afraid. Just like a long distance hiker, I get a lot of my information from people who in history who lived on boats before there were all the modern things, and who were explorers from history who took expeditions places. Read the books about folks who did expeditions. Did you know that if you wrap Swiss cheese, of course I can't eat Swiss cheese, but maybe you can. If you wrap Swiss cheese in the outer leaves of cabbage and then wrap it in a piece of 100% cotton cloth, like old bandanas were actually 100% cotton, right? Or cheesecloth or something like that, so that the bugs can't get in it. It'll stay moist and not even get moldy on you. And if it does get moldy, you kind of scrape the mold off and move on. But I wouldn't have learned those things if I hadn't read about some of those explorers who were like, how are we going to eat? There's no food there that we know of, right? How are we going to survive? Oh crap, there could be a polar bear. Oh crap, there could be a grizzly. How are we going to do this? Read some of that stuff. That's how I got information. I mean, yes, and then I practice it because I had more time than I had money. So sometimes it was, how am I going to maneuver? Um, so all those possible ways to bring heat into your space, but watch your condensation. Yes, I'm blessed. I've got carpeted headliner. That's a plus because any of the fabrics will hold the water in the air, the condensation, and then will dissipate it once it gets warmer. So now my particular sunshades for the front of my car. Mine are the twisty kind that are plasticky, right? They're silver on one side, black on the other side. When it's really cold, you probably ought to turn them over on the black side. I didn't. I just leave them the way they are because I'm just as lazy as the next guy. So I just leave those in the front window. And yes, it ices up between the glass and those, but then during the day, the sun comes out and melts it. So I don't currently have any curtains for the passenger driver side windows. I'm not really in the mood to spending another $10 right now. I would rather have the Amazon thing solved. For my curtains, I will be working on these to make them prettier at some time. Right now, I started with the basic because I didn't want to spend the money and, whatever. But for these back windows, I use Ozark Trails microfiber towels. I found this a long time ago, works beautiful. It's kind of a neutral grayish, tannish color that blends in with most interiors in most cars. And so when I'm helping other people, this is what I suggest first, depending on the color of the car and the person's, personal taste. What I often do as a process, and I have not done with these are not finished. They were just a starter. So these just have some Velcro so they can stick to the headliner. In my particular case, I can do that. But at some point, I may use 3M something 77. It's the spray headliner spray that you can actually buy at Walmart. But it's the spray that holds a headliner on a car. So I often use that, and you spray one side of the fabric and then I fuse other fabric to it. And I often fuse something that's pretty for the inside because often I'm helping women. Yes, I help men too, but I'm saying often it's been women who wanted more help with their curtains and making them work better. And so we've used some pretty fabric that reminds them of like wallpaper for a bedroom or something and speaks to them and helps them, like perhaps it's a vision board color or something. And I don't know what I want in here right now. So I'm just kind of, let's go slow. But once you fuse the fabrics together, and I have fused, I don't like it, but I've done it. I have fused Mylar in between so that I'd have a 3-layer, but I don't like the Mylar in it. So I don't recommend you do that. But fusing the fabrics, and then you can have one color on one side and a different color on the other side, and you can switch them. And you can make them roll up or fold or whatever you need them to do. But they're more insulated. But having the curtains, because they're fabric, having them be microfiber, having the blessing of having a carpeted headliner, all these things take the moisture from the air and hold it, and then it'll dry, right? So that helps in the airspace. Then you have clothes. We all have clothes. I have less clothes than the average person, I understand. Candy was talking to me about that the other day. She goes, you just don't have as many clothes as other people. She goes, I couldn't. The space you have wouldn't work for me because I couldn't put my clothes in there. And I was sharing with her that, yeah, I get it. But I learned from hiking, clothes is a relative thing too. So I have legging, you know, like a hiker. They say, do you have base layers and you have, you know, mid layers, and then you have your rain stuff, and you have, well, yeah, I have all of that stuff. I just don't talk about it that way. I can do hiker speak. Don't get me wrong. If we want to talk hiker speak, I could. But basically, I have a 35-degree sleeping bag. This one happens to be Mountain Smith. When my other one got too many holes in it, and I was having trouble patching my little holes in the Outdoor Vitals quilt. A friend was there. Her dog kept getting on my quilt as I was trying to patch it, and I was struggling, and then the claws. So her dog got my quilt, and she said, look, I've got this brand new 35-degree sleeping bag that has never been used underneath the thing in my RV. Would you like to try it and see if it would work for you? If it will work for you, you can have that. And then I'd love if you let my dog have the quilt. So that's what happened with that. So I have a 35-degree. This one happens to be Mountain Smith. Don't worry about that. The degrees on sleeping bags, as you could do the research and find out, the companies have kind of guidelines for what they mean. But 35 degrees sleeping bag only means if you're hypothermic and you could die, and it's 35 degrees, you might not die. It doesn't mean you're going to be comfortable. So don't think of that. This one I use more as a quilt than I do a sleeping bag. That means I have it unzipped and I use it as a blanket over me. I hardly ever have it underneath me. So, and it traps air. Of course, it's got a really good hood with a drawstring on it that if it was super cold, I would be able to zip this all up, and it would help even more. But let me then tell you some other things I have. So my coat's back here too. Here's my new coat. This new coat I bought at Walmart. I paid $60 for a coat. I would have preferred to have had a coat that fit me just a little bit better, had double zippers, because I have a big belly and I would like to be able to zip up the bottom of the coat when I sit down so I can keep it zipped up at the top. I can't. This one only has one zipper, and it was a men's coat, not a girl's. Slumberjack, good company. Walmart's starting to sell these. It's packable. It stuffs into a little thing. It can become a pillow if I need it to. But I do have this coat. Don't know what the fiber is in it. I think I read it at the time, and I don't remember. But it's warm. So I have my coat. Sometimes I sleep in my coat. So I have the Mountain Smith, the 35-degree sleeping bag. Then I have, this is leftover. It's an Omnicord Designs. I think the brand was called Elephant. It was a gift from Danny a couple of years ago. Danny lived in, I haven't heard from him in a while. Danny lived in Pahrump and helped me a lot over the years, helped me a lot with vehicles and things. And I bought this stuff, but he put a new radiator and some other big parts on that Cherokee I had. And that car turned out to be such a dud for me. That cost me so much money. And still, it's gone. Now I have this. This is more reliable for me, more affordable for me. So this was a military grade, probably Chinese, but military grade sleep system rated for 15 below zero. Okay. So it came with pieces. So it came with this, which is what's it called? Oh, I forgot what it's called. Ripstop plastic-like bivy. Now, a bivy sack is made so that you can sleep directly on the ground. So it is waterproof so that if you were to get wet, you won't freeze to death. Or if you won't die necessarily. But this is waterproof. like it's tent material, but it's ripstop. So ripstop means it has like hashtag marks in it, so that if it gets a hole, that usually the hole will stop at one of those threads and it won't continue to tear. That's what that's all about. So this is like a bivy. Well, it is. It's a bivy. That came with the set that Danny had given me years ago. It was probably a $200 set. But he'd used it a few times and he didn't like it. And he wasn't going to send it back. So make sure what you're sleeping on top of, not this. We're going under this, okay? Under this, Tim Connolly, who got Hannibus from Homes on Wheels Alliance, gave me this really super lovely, thick rubber yoga mat. I decided to leave my camp mats back at the cabin and to try using this. This works much better than the camp mat did. Camp mats accordion fold, the ones I had accordion fold, and I was having struggles with, how do I say this? I basically have created my own like cowboy bedroll. And the idea of that works the simplest and easiest for me in this small space. So it's easier for me to roll my whole bed up and then put my seat up to make a change in my day than taking apart the separate pieces and saying, well, now I got to put the sleeping bag in its stuff bag, and I got to put this other thing in its stuff sack. Now I got 6 pieces. The way I created my bedroll, I just roll it all inside each other. And then, I don't know if I can reach one. And then I have these, oh, I know where this one, wait a minute. I have an extra one. Then I have these lovely bungee straps, bungee ball straps for sleeping bags. They're sold by Coghlan's. I found them at Sportsman's Warehouse. And so they're a bungee ball. I can just bungee 2 of them, one on each end of my bedroll. And I just have my bed all put up. So underneath of this mat, I have the padding of some inexpensive Walmart travel pillows on top of storage boxes and on top of my kitchen box. Okay. And they're just the right height, which is right about 6 inches, that I have to fill in because my headrest lands on that higher level, which is where the back seat would have been in the tracker. So seat fall flat, a few of these little pillows. Yeah, they don't all have matching pillowcases, but back when I could get them, I had the maps. Then I had one that was black. Anyways, so they're on top of all that stuff. And then is the camp mat. Make sure that you have windproof something underneath of you. You need warmer stuff under you so that your body heat doesn't dissipate into whatever. And in a vehicle sense, the floors on vehicles are very cold because the cold air blows under. There's tires that hold it off the ground. So you need some decent padding under you. My seat is warm and padded. So it's not, I don't know better words and terms right now. I'm a little bit fudging with this, but if you can afford, I would love at some point, perhaps, I've been thinking, tossing this back and forth around, perhaps I might go back to having a really good insulated Thermarest or something like that, air mattress again, that I can take the air out of when I fold up my bedroll. But for right now, The bedroll starts with my really thick yoga mat. I think this was a Live Life Out Loud or something company thing. Anyways, that's the bottom of my bedroll. Then when it's super cold, the rest of the time I don't use this because it's plasticky. It makes whatever's on it sweat. Do an experiment. If you put something inside a Ziploc bag and you zip it up so now it's airtight, and you put that bag in super hot sun or in something really cold, what happens? The bag gets water in it. That's what happens with this. So we want to hold the heat in. And because I'm not using down, now originally this set came with this piece, the black sleeping bag piece, and a down inner liner. It was beautiful, but the down made me so sick. My eyes were, it really was not good for me. And once I realized that was the problem, I gave it to a neighbor who, I bartered it for some work with a neighbor. And I got healthier and they were happier. They're much warmer in the evenings. This set online, on Amazon, it's a couple $100, maybe $3. But anyway, the pieces, the width and the length of it is a little large for my space. So when I do go to change to upgrade these at some point, I'll go a little narrower. I am talking to one of the companies from, I think they're from Idaho. One of the companies from Overland Expo that makes bedrolls. And I've been talking to them about helping me to have a much more narrow bedroll. And they said, well, they were trying to come up with a narrower bedroll for people who travel on motorcycles. And so they're talking to me. They've offered to help me with my bedroll system. But for now, come on, I have this Amazon problem going on. So, right. And I was so pissed about that. I was so excited to have that thing. So, yoga mat, bivy sack, polyester sleeping bag this has the hooded cowl with the drawstring. So if it was super cold, it's been down to 11 degrees here. I still never zipped up any of my sleeping bags. Okay, I was warm. I put on cotton socks. I didn't even put on wool socks. I didn't put on 2 shirts. I just normal. I did sleep in my coat 3 nights. Okay. But, okay. So then this 35 degree and then this on top of my feet as the last layer. If like that coldest night, I zipped part of the bivy up about 2.5 feet along my legs. I wanted to make sure all my blankets stayed up on the bed well, and I wanted to make sure that nothing came unzipped. So it's way wide. It's probably made for a really big and tall man, right? It's a huge width, too wide for the car. But anyways, I did that. When I got up in the morning to go to the bathroom after daylight, when I unzipped so that I could get my feet out, the top of the black sleeping bag was wet. That's appropriate. That's what happens. And you do have to make sure they get dried out. But then we had the snow, and the snow was followed by rain. So we had 1 or 2 days there of pretty wet weather. And I kept the bivy sack, green, on top of my blankets near the door in order to keep, when I opened the door, to keep the rain from getting my bed wet. Makes sense, I think. So it's just some common sense stuff is what I'm talking about here. So then, I can I have, what are they? I started to say it's an oh crap handle, right? Up here that I can reach and I can use that. And there's another one back here, which was for the back people in the back seat. So I do this and just, get my, that's a little hard to see, but maybe it's helpful. I don't know. You guys tell me if I'm being helpful. Ask me some more questions too, so I can focus on what to tell you. But then I just pull this over me like a quilt, like a blanket, like a regular house blanket. And then this one is under me and over me, the black polyester. And then right now, because it's warmed up, this is only underneath because I want to make sure I don't need to do it again, put it back together. But this will come off and will get stored because it's for emergencies. And if I had to hike out, okay, if something happened to my vehicle and I couldn't fix it, or the zombies started walking across the highway and I gotta, there's no more gas and I gotta run for it, this is going in whatever bag's on my back, so that if I had to sleep on the ground with nothing, I could at least stay alive a few more days. To try to get away from some zombie trying to eat you, right? Okay, try to be funny there, people. I have a sense of humor, or maybe you don't see it very much, but I have one. So, okay, get comfortable again and just shift around. And then for clothes, I own the blue quarter zip that you guys see all the time, that y'all are always saying, that looks so good on you. It does. The blue is a good color for me. Anyway, so I have the blue quarter zip. I have this. I found it at a thrift store with the brand new tag on it. It's a little short down here in length. For girls who like me, I would like it to be a longer length. But for now, I don't know. I might have paid $4 for it. I might, because it had a brand new tag on it. But it doesn't have thumb holes, but it's long sleeve. Okay, so I have this, and then I have a few like tank top things, sleeveless things. I quit caring what my body looks like. I just have to put up with it. It's who I am. Being able to have those MS words did help me a little bit. So I can say, it's crap, I have MS, get over it. I wish I was cute and, all that other good stuff, but, whatever. So, leggings. I knew I wanted a pair of winter leggings this year because before I got COVID and I was up in Colorado, it got cold. Then when I got COVID and I didn't know I had it, I was sick all those days hanging in the hammock and enjoying that one place in Montrose. By the way, if my buddy from Montrose is watching from, what's his coffee company called? Oh, crap. I forgot what his coffee company's called. Anyway, if he's watching, I didn't know you lived in Montrose. I would have gotten in touch with you. We would have hung out more. Anyway, but I had COVID, right? So, I have for quite a while wanted some warmer leggings, pants. So I bought a pair of pants when I was somewhere in this summer. And they were kind of weird, but they were too hot in the summer. It was like that fabric didn't breathe really good. So those have been good. So those are long pants, and those were good. So I've been using those. And but I, at Walmart, got a pair of insulated cuddle dud pants. And I checked them out, asked people's opinions in the store, in the dressing rooms and stuff, and decided that I'm wearing these cuddle duds as outside pants, and I have been, and they look fine. They just don't have any pockets in them, but they're leggings, and they're black, and they fit me well, and they're got a little bit of fleece on the inside of them. I had silk underlayers, like long johns once, and they're super thin. They were easy to get into jeans. But the way I wear clothes anymore, I am not going to put on a second. I am not going to take off the warm pants to put on a pair of silk things, to put on the pants, and then fight with how the fabrics. Yeah, forget it. So I got Cuddle Dud. They have a little fleece. Yeah, I can't show you that. I was trying to, but I can't. I can't really show you that. Maybe I can. See, this is the hem of the pant. Where? This is the hem of the pants. My skin's dry right now. But they have just the finest fleece. So they're very warm. I didn't wear these on that cold day. I was wearing something else, but I was able to bathe yesterday with no trouble, and then I, put on clean pants, and this was the clean pants, and they're warmer. So and then wear the coat. I have this is from my hiking days. It's a turtle fur. So turtle furs are like a buff, but this one was, again, a very, very fine fleece. It's very similar to the fabric that the Cuddle Dud pants are made of. And it's basically a buff. There it is, turtle fur. It's a buff. And so you just put it over your head. My hair would be in the way right now, and my earpiece. But you put it on, right? So it's like a scarf, but you can pull it up over your head and you can do things with it. And I only really use it as a scarf. I would love to have a buff. Oh, I'd love to have one of those alpaca buffs. Who makes those? Appalachian Trail Gear, I think. I would love one of their buffs because it should be hypoallergenic, but I just think having the natural fibers would be wonderful. I have had to use my gloves a couple of times. My gloves, I have two pair. I have one pair that's more like that fabric I just showed you of my turtle fur, and it's they're not glove liners for real, but they're just very I don't know where they are right now, but they're black. I lived in New York for a while. I got into the whole black thing. Black's cheap. You can make black look rich and for nothing. Anyways, they're form-fitting gloves with fingers. Can't use your phone at all with them. Then Tom of Tom and Tika that I was camping with in Colorado had an extra pair of wool fingerless gloves, and he gave me these. And so I've used these, but I've also had some awful cold fingers while I was using them. But sometimes if it's really cold, I'll sleep with this pair on inside the blankets. So I when it was 11 degrees and I wasn't really I didn't even zip into the sleeping bags, but I did have these on. I had the turtle fur on, and I had this hat on. I'm wearing this hat out. It's a Polar Extreme something. I can't remember. I don't know that there's a tag that says, but it has fleece all inside of it. It messes my hair up crazy. And it doesn't even say. One size fits most. Acrylic and polyester. Contains fake fur. Made in China. That's whatever. But I bought it brand new for $1 at a thrift store. Probably in Colorado, maybe in Idaho. I don't remember. Sometimes when I'm traveling, I just hunt for a thrift store to go in. And I knew because it had fleece, it would be good. I knew it would mess my hair up crazy. So when it's cold, and it wasn't cold enough to zip everything in, but you're going to lose heat through your extremities, your fingers, the top of your head, and your toes. And so if you keep those covered, you'll feel warmer. So you'll be warmer. And another thing is your body will want you to stay alive. And so it's going to first shut down things you don't need and let you lose those things if it was necessary in order to save your heart to keep you alive. So your body will stop warming your fingers in order to keep your heart pumping. So that's why you would get frostbite before and not even know it but your heart's still pumping good. So, protect the extremities is a good idea. So you put the hat on. I'm not going to do it because, first off, I think I look really stupid in a hat, but it'll mess up my hair and whatever. But anyways, wear the hat to bed. So wear the hat, especially with this shirt when it's cold. Put on the turtle fur because the turtle fur is not going to come off like a scarf would. Love a scarf too. I don't know if it's in my wish list, but it should be. I want a shmug. I don't know how to say that. I want one of those cotton desert scarves. They're not super good for cold, but they're fabulous for windstorms. And it's been on my wish list a long time. But I can't remember if I actually have it in my Amazon wish list. Somebody could buy me that for a present. Anyways, I'll look. I'm making a note. I make notes. I don't make tons of notes anymore, but I make notes so I won't forget things. Let's see. Any more questions? Am I kind of covering things? I need better cold weather shoe situation. Some of you know I've been doing barefoot shoes for 5, 6, 10 years. I don't remember. I never could afford the name brand, more expensive. I love the style of Lem's boots. I've been using Julka shoes from Amazon. They're around $30 and they're barefoot shoes. Love them. Love them, love them. I like to be barefoot more than I like shoes. And so when I can, forget shoes. I even like flip-flops with the tong thing. I'm one of those people. I recently saw wilding shoes. I'd known about boots and shoes that were made from wool in prior, but they often were coming out of Germany and they were very expensive and I couldn't afford them. And since I have noticed that somebody in the Pacific Northwest is now making what they're called wilding shoes, and they are mostly wool, they'll be warmer than some of the other barefoot shoes and still have, I think, Vibram bottoms. I'm not absolutely sure. But even my Julkas for $30, $40 are Vibram soles, which is helpful in the desert with things like goat heads and cactus and sharp things. And so I would love to have a pair of those wilding shoes. Boots. I would like them to be boots. And I would like to have the wool insoles to go in them. I that, that would be a blessing. My feet have been fine. My skin's very dry right now, but my feet have been fine. I have wool socks. I don't have tall wool socks. I have ankle length and the little no-seam wool socks. Most of the time, that's enough for me. A pair of snow gaiters would be helpful, even with my current shoes, because the snow gaiters, there's in my part of Arizona, there's so few times when you really need snow things that those gaiters would just be helpful. Crusty snow, if anybody's from the north, you know that if it gets iced over and you step in it, it like has to crunch for you to walk in it. It's sharp and it can cut your clothes and it can cut your the shins of your legs. And so it would be kind of nice to have some of those things. But for right now, I'm trying to stay out of the snow for the moment. Probably if I had my dream vehicle, Jeep Wrangler, an old Sahara with the camel interior, I would probably have a diesel heater that could sit on a tire outside and have the warm air pushed in or something of that nature. Something like some of my other overlander buddies have, but my budget's not there. So I'm basically fine. I will want to, I'll probably keep this steering wheel table, but I'd like to upgrade. I saw one that basically has an elongated hole that fits over the top of the steering wheel. Now that makes it awful high for me, but it's a little more stable. I I am going to go get my chandelier before I go on, because in case I need it, it would just be wonderful to have that with me. So I want that in the car. Just like I want my Kelly kettle in the car. I wish I had a smaller one, but I can't spend the money right now. So I'm going to do the best I can with what I got first. And I think that's a, I guess I got to say advice. I hate to be saying it that way, but I want to show you by example that, use what you've got first. Save some money, buy some stuff. I mean, come on, I've been wanting that Amazon thing for so long, and now I don't have my money and I don't have the thing. And then because of that, well, not because of it, but yeah, because of the situation I get in, then I was like, well, I need to feel better and I don't know what to do. And I'm kind of stuck here waiting. Oh, I did put that in the title of this, waiting in New Mexico. What am I waiting for? I wait until I know for sure what the next move is. And sometimes that means I'm sitting for a while. Now, that doesn't mean I'm sitting, like physically sitting my whole days. That's not true. I've been, okay, there's a 4 or 5 year old pit bull here, or maybe 8-year-old pit bull, a 1.5-year-old, what is she? Herding dog. Part healer or something, and a 2-month-old pit bull puppy at my friend's schoolie. And so, because of the situation with the thefts, I said to them, while I'm here, take advantage. I can stay and puppy sit. When I go, then you guys got to divide who stays home and who goes, or whether you're willing to risk what might be stolen this week, right, or whatever. I'm sorry that we live in these times and these are those situations, but I can help by puppy sitting. So dog sitting. So here I am. I've cooked meals. I spent $140 on fencing for them. They got a really big, huge holiday food windfall. And so they have blessed me by helping me buy groceries. I helped them get a bigger fence put in. Not an even Steven, we're not playing it that way. It's I help you, you help me. Well, and not even that. It's like, come on, I can do this. Y'all are kind of down and out in this situation, and you're stuck here. You can't just go like I can. So, all right, if we need to take my car, we'll take my car. But if we don't need to take my car, it can sit here. Let me make sure I got enough gas in the tank so that if I need to turn on the heater, I have a couple of mornings wanted to sit in the car and read. Sitting up in my bed, sort of like I am here talking to you guys today. And so I just turn on the engine and run the heater for a few minutes, let the air warm up, put the blanket around my shoulders, sit here and read. But basically just helping out, doing what I can to help somebody who's in a worse shape than I am. So, or whatever. And so I'm not sitting still inside 24/7. Oh, heck no. I'm outdoors. I live out of my cars. So that's why I put the tarp back out, because I needed to bathe yesterday. So I heated my water in my base camp Kelly kettle. I will show you that sometime. Anyways, I heated my water that way. And then I have a little silicone pan. And I put up my Instaprivy tent underneath the Instaprivy cover thing. I put underneath the tarp, and I attached it to the window lock on my back door so that something was holding it up above my head. And then I had my hot water, and I have one of those little four-legged camp stools that folds kind of tiny, and I put that inside the Instaprivy thing with me, and I used a washcloth, and I scrub, and I sit on the stool for a little while, then I get up and I do something else. You can get your shirts over your head, you can put on your underwear, being girl underwear too, right? You can wiggle into your bra, you can do what you got to do. And then you can sit on the stool and scrub your feet, and the wind and the sand and all of that was not an issue. It wasn't very strong wind, but I chose a good sunny time. I did not do it at 5 o'clock in the morning. I waited until it was warm in the afternoon, and I'd gone through all my process and stuff like that. I am going to have to go out and check this tarp because it's flapping and hitting the point on the hatch on the back door, and I don't want it to rip. Wow, it's 1:30. I see Candy and Rick are moving around outside too. They've been out with the dogs. Let me double check your comments. Were there any questions that I'm missing and haven't answered? Oh, Mojave's been here. Fisherman's boots. Yeah. Okay, so Iris rather. The rubber boots. If you're going to do for cold weather, you got to be careful and get muck boots or true like Alaskan fisherman boots. And then it's wise to get neoprene or something sock liners. But in my humble opinion, they're too large a thing for me to carry. So I'm trying to figure out caliche. Okay, caliche. That's a thing. Coming from humid Florida, skin dries out in Arizona. Yeah, the skin, shoe size. Oh, Mary, I knit 3 pairs of socks one time with bamboo fibers. That was so wonderful. I actually am about a 9.5 American. I'm like a 9.5, something like that. And I love hand knit socks. I love them. Have to watch your feet and fingers. Yes. Catherine's here too. Hi, Catherine. I'm scrolling through your messages. So I thought you were leaving. I always stay to the very end. Yes, and nose. Cold nose. There's not cold nose. Not a lot you can do about a cold nose unless you want to wear like the motorcycle thing. I don't know what those are called, but the motorcycle thing that keeps everything covered helps. That's good, Beth, about the coconut oil. Yes, coconut oil helps. So olive oil works. Almond oil. Remember, don't put anything on your skin that you wouldn't put in your mouth, as in that you wouldn't eat. Caliche. Okay. So I haven't watched Bob's channel in a long, long time, so I can't speak on what he spoke about. Okay. But caliche is a rock-like substance that is in the sand in the desert. And it's very clay and what's the other thing? And mineral rich. Caliche, it's the clay factor that gets to be like cement shoes. And it's a thing. Oh, there you go, Beth. Yes, Bob is very nice. Too many layers for old lady kidneys. I got to come back to that. But the what I found with rubber boots work a little better. But you still, once you start getting that stuff stuck on the bottom, they get so heavy that they're gonna come off. So there's stuff to there's yeah, the boots. I I think what I would prefer to do is to have a pair of collapsible, like soft that I can fold up rubber boots, and sock liners that are neoprene or something to keep very, very warm for inside of them. But I'd also like to have the wool boots for other situations. I used to have a pair of over boots, Neo over boots or something like that. They're made for Alaska. I loved those things. I had them in New York. They're very crinkly when you walk until they get very old. So yeah. So there's stuff. Cozy when we get in the van. Yeah, dogs. Yeah, if you have a dog sleep, get used to using them for body heat. Okay, let's see. Can't handle damp and cold. So close and go and pee as you're older and whatever. It's a bivy. That's for I'm back on your comment, Betty Joe. Bivy, Bivy. Okay. But bivvies do not breathe. So your bedding will get wet. It will need from the condensation. You will need to take things out and air them in the sun to one, keep the smell down, two, keep the mold away, and three, dry them out. And so please be careful with that. But it is good. Yeah, and for yeah. Okay. So all right. Oh, Mary, thank you so much. 20 day. Wonderful, Mary. Okay, let's see. Rolling homes are always, yeah, they change as we change. That's the way it goes. And I think it's really wise, Mary, to build as you go along. I think it was a problem when my mind said, I want this to feel like home. I want a home worse than I want a rolling home. And I think that that was a problem when I first started out. I think it was better when I relaxed and I figured out that home was not the need. And so now we're building community because I need other people. I can't do this alone. I can't. I'm admitting it out here, okay? I can't do this alone. If you've stayed here this long, you get this piece of me. I tried to tell this to the Homes on Wheels Alliance people, Bob, Sue Ann, some of them. I tried to talk. I mean, I know these people well. Okay. I have not been in super close contact with them for a year, but I need people, and I need people I can trust. And I need people who will physically, God's got my back. I need people to have my back too. And often in the crowds, I'm not finding super healthy people. Often in the crowds, I'm not finding people I can lean on a little bit. I'm finding people who go, oh, you have all the ideas. Let me get from you. And then I'm going to write a book and I'm going to make money off of it. Or I'm going to go talk and have an interview and I'm going to make money off you. And because I don't want to do to other people, sorry, what's been done to me in my past. I'm not doing that to y'all. I would like to have some more financial help. Uh, I don't. I had Patreon and I deleted it, and I'm really considering because I'm really considering doing Patreon again. Figuring out how to make Patreon work along with this. But I want my community to be free. I want my people who are poor to be able to do. I'm not wealthy. I'm just like y'all, doing the same old thing. I am so blessed to have people who once in a while want to buy me a gift. That once in a while, Mary, thank you, who give me $20 every once in a while. Do you realize that $19 is half a tank of gas for me? That takes me, let me think. I think a tank of gas in most cars is right around 300, 350 miles, something like that. It's something like that, okay? So $20 is right about a half a tank of gas for me. That's fabulous. Okay, in the grocery sense, it's different, but that's because of my health issues and the way I choose some to eat, and the other is how I have to eat, but some is how I choose. Because I'm not willing to be so sick. I don't. So my food costs more money. Yeah, yeah. If I want mineral water, I'm going to buy the best one. I'm buying Pellegrino. It's $12 for a pack of these. Okay. Even at Walmart. And, for a little while, sometimes I drink one a day. Sometimes I do. It's okay. I don't always have the Powerade Zeros around. I really wish I didn't do that as much. I have a refrigerator. I can't keep it running, so it's at the cabin. Okay. I can't keep it running because my solar system can't keep up day and night with me needing to plug it in and parking anywhere I park. So until I make a change in that, I won't give that little refrigerator freezer, I won't give that my space because my space is too valuable. So, unless that changes, here we are. I know how to eat well without it. So I'm doing okay. Um, thank you, Kenneth. Thank you so much. And thank you, all of you, all those extra comments. I just want you to know that even though somebody comes on and says, don't you have something to do with how come I never see you out there? I'm sorry. I don't believe exactly like they do. I think we all should um I think we all should be willing to do what we can with what we have and help other people. I think we should be generous as humans. I'm not saying, fine, you want to help that agency and it's your thing and you're excited about it, go for it. It never was my excitement. Okay. I love them. Bob did encourage and help me when I was coming back to the States. I was so scared that my ex-husband, who had tried to kill me, was going to find me and finish me off. Okay. I was so afraid of that when I first came back, that being able to find Bob and then try to hide out in his community and go to Slab City and spend a lot of time at Slab City hiding out was worth it, because I was afraid for my life. That season in my life has passed, so I don't have to worry about that the same. Am I grateful? Absolutely. Was I disappointed in some things? Sure. But aren't things in life like that? They're great. They're disappointing. They're great. They're disappointing. I've had so much success with Amazon. Darn, $150 item, darn, from Amazon, that darn, it, in a relative sense, this stuff just goes like this. It's life. It's that, it's that wave of it's good, it's bad, it's up, it's down. This is life. So here we are. I think that I'm starting to breathe. I think I'm getting a little tired, and I'm thinking maybe I should go. I appreciate you all. I love our coming in and being here. I hope I have given you helpful stuff. I hope I've encouraged you to continue being a better version of yourself. Find it in you to do the thing that you do best, and do it, you know, give it a good one. Do it when it's hard. I help people. I see a need and I try to fill it. So what if it takes some money? Some of that money, thank you to some of y'all. The money, the fund that I took the fencing money out of was a gift from Boha, Bohemian, about 2 months ago. And so that fund helped Candy and Rick have a larger yard and a better life where they are until they decide what they're doing next, or they decide to settle in and be comfortable. Candy and Rick are the kind of people that if you're nice and reasonable and responsible for yourself, if you were in this area, I am absolutely certain that they would allow you to camp on their small lot of land. It's not particularly a lovely, secluded area, but it's a nice stop-off spot. It's safe. They would sit around a campfire and say hi and talk about me with you. No. So I'm just saying, though, that these people are out here and they all have allowed me to be here. There's another friend of ours that has been here. And it's always nice to have places like this along the way. If something was to happen, your car was to break down, they couldn't help you fix it. They're not mechanical. They don't have that kind of income, but they would do what they could too. So, just do what you can do from where you are. Start where you are. Have an idea. Just, when you're ready, when that waiting period can be annoying as crap. I know, from a human standpoint. It is so hard to just wait until you know what you're supposed to do. I know one whole year, I sat rocking my babies in a rocking chair in Richmond, Virginia, waiting to know, oh God, what do I do? What do I do? Praying, waiting, and just waiting, knowing that God had already told me, you're going to leave this. This isn't going to be for life, but not knowing when and what to do. And, right now, I'm probably leaving this week. That just came to me yesterday. Okay. But I'm waiting for that thing that says, okay, time to go. Pack it up. And when it does, I'll go. Because I've learned over my years that when that thing or that God or that whatever you call it, right? But whatever that thing is, Lesa learned how to pay attention. I hear it. I listen for it. I wait for it. And then when it comes up, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to hit it hard. I'm going to give it all I got. I'm going to do my best as if I'm doing it for the Creator. I'm going to do my best to do a good job in that moment. I don't know who you are. I could be entertaining an angel. Whatever. I mean, whatever. So I have a hunch that I will probably not be here come Thursday. That could change. I have no idea. But right now, that's how it's feeling. I do think that it's wise. I'm so close to the cabin to go back and get a few more items and check in. I did get my fuel assistance for the year. I need to be sure to get a little more cordwood delivered and stuff. But I'll deal with that. So I love y'all. I am so grateful for our community out here. I am so grateful that so many of you consistently come on Sundays to have a little chat and visit with me and listen to what I got to say. I don't know why I'm such a talker and such a storyteller. I really don't, but it's must be what I'm here for. So I am working on writing some more stuff for the blog posts. Really want to get that goal going of as consistent as I've been with Sundays. I want to now be that consistent with a blog post once a week over on my blog spot. I'm not there yet, but that's the goal. So let's see if I can be more consistent with that. I haven't been making many phone calls, but I've been in a waiting pattern and it just hasn't felt like calling anybody. Um, love y'all. Kind of done with being alone so much, but not sure what that's all about either. So love y'all. Thank you for being here. And thank you for consistently coming back and being part of our little community. I get that it's little, it can grow. I got a box over here. The box has I'm not pulling it out right now. The box has stickers and decals for the car, but my paint job is starting to look really old and ratty on the cars. So I got to make some decisions about that right now. But like Chrome uh, and you know who I mean. Van City Van Life in 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 Canada. I have stickers for the car now, decals for the car. I haven't put them on. I want the car to look pretty good. I need to touch up the paint a little bit and probably do that while I'm up at the cabin. Okay, I gotta say goodbye. This is a long goodbye today. Love, yes, I love y'all. Thank y'all, and I will call you Mojave, and thank you all. I hope I get to camp with some of you when I get down in warmer weather. I can't wait for warmer. I hope I'm still going to be able to go to Baja. That's on the list. I did not get the hammock stand yet. I think it would be really cool on this vehicle, but love y'all. We will talk. See you next week. No, Joseph, no. But if somebody figures out a way to get a hold of him, he sent me something and I didn't get it. And I did try to send a message somehow, but I don't have an email from him. So if anybody finds him somewhere. All right, ciao, y'all. Have a good week. Later.